In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 MLB games happening on October 1st, 2022, and providing you with team picks and total picks for each one of those games. So 2 picks for each game, 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 MLB games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive betting picks to take your sports betting journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer anywhere from 1 betting pick a day up to 10 betting picks a day and much more. Now let's get started. Philadelphia Phillies versus Washington Nationals. Washington and Philadelphia were supposed to play a doubleheader on Saturday, and then it was moved to Friday due to the weather. They decided to move it back to Saturday, and who knows whether the rain will hold up for both games to be played. The Phillies won the first game and the only game on Friday, 5-1, to break a 5-game losing streak. All of these games are must-win for Philadelphia, who is locked in a battle for the final wild-card spot with Milwaukee. The Phillies come into this game with an 84-72 record overall, and every game is so important at this point of the season. In the first game of this series, it was the pitching that was good, giving up only 1 run. The Phillies are averaging 4.63 runs per game, which is 7th best in the league. Kyle Schwarber has hit 42 home runs and driven in 87 RBIs so far this season. Bryce Harper has hit 18 home runs and driven in 64 RBIs. On the other side of this matchup is the Nationals, who sit with a 54-102 record overall, and the offense has struggled heading into this game. Over the last 4 games, the Nationals have scored only 6 runs total. The Nationals are averaging only 3.74 runs per game, which is 26th in the league. Although the Washington Nationals are last in the National League East and have the worst overall record in baseball, they are meeting Philadelphia at a down time, as the Phillies have lost each of the last 5 after being swept by the Chicago Cubs earlier this week. Philadelphia has lost 13 of his last 16 played on the road and has struggled against teams from the National League East, losing 6 of the last 8. Philadelphia starting pitcher Kyle Gibson has been roughed up in each of the last 2 starts, allowing 19 hits and 12 runs in only 10 innings. Needless to say, Philadelphia lost both to Toronto and Atlanta, so the Washington Nationals money line is our full game side pick. It's going to be cold and rainy. Both pitchers want short innings so they can make it a quick game. Even though the Phillies have a lot of big bats, they strike out a ton, and they have struggled offensively lately. They have gone under in 4 straight games. Washington hasn't hit well all year, as they've gone under in 2 straight and 5 of their last 6 games. The Nats average just 3.78 runs per game and 3.51 runs per game at home against right-handed pitching. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. Baltimore Orioles versus New York Yankees. The Baltimore Orioles face the New York Yankees, with both teams looking to cap off great seasons in the American League East Division on a high note. The Orioles have an 81-76 record and look to finish the year above .500 for the first time since 2016. The Yankees, meanwhile, have a 96-60 record, and with a 17-8 record in September, have clinched the division and the second best record in the American League. For the upcoming game, the Orioles will turn to Austin Voth as their starting pitcher, who has only allowed 3 runs in his last 3 starts, while the Yankees will turn to Nestor Cortes, who has only allowed 2 runs in his last 3 starts. The Baltimore Orioles are 81-76 this season and have lost 3 of their last 4 games. Baltimore won Game 1 of this series by a score of 2-1 on Friday night. The Baltimore pitching staff has a 3.96 earned run average, a 1.28 WHIP, and a .255 opponent batting average this season. The Orioles offense has scored 664 runs with a .237 batting average and a .306 on base percentage. Anthony Santander is batting .245 with 33 home runs and 88 RBIs for the Orioles this season. The projected starter for Baltimore is Austin Voth, who is 5-3 with a 4.19 earned run average and a 1.38 WHIP over 96.2 innings pitched this season. The New York Yankees are 96-60 this season and have won 2 of their last 3 games. Prior to losing Game 1 of this series, New York won 2 out of 3 games against Toronto. The New York pitching staff has a 3.33 earned run average, a 1.12 WHIP, and a .219 opponent batting average. The Yankees offense has scored 786 runs with a .241 batting average and a .324 on base percentage this year. Aaron Judge is batting .314 with 61 home runs and 130 RBIs for the Yankees this season. The projected starter for New York is Nestor Cortes, who is 11-4 with a 2.56 earned run average and a 0.95 WHIP over 151 innings pitched this season. The O's are 125-276 in their last 401 versus a team with a winning record and 2-5 in their last 7 in Game 2 of a series. Baltimore is 103-214 in their last 317 versus the American League East. Meanwhile, the Yankees are 67-29 in their last 96 in Game 2 of a series and 53-19 in their last 72 at home. New York is 20-8 in their last 28 on grass. The Orioles have covered the run line in 59% of their games as a road underdog, whereas the Yankees have only covered in 45% of their games as a home favorite. Voth hasn't done too badly over his last couple of starts, with 3 earned on 10 hits and 0 walks in 10 innings. Voth is just 0-1 in that pair. However, as for Cortes, he's doing well also with 2 earned in his last 16 innings. I like Cortes to keep it going, but the Yankees' pen could present some opportunities for Baltimore. So the Baltimore Orioles to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Nestor Cortes was lights out in 2 starts against Baltimore this season. He has also been rolling at the right time, posting a 1.73 earned run average over his last 5 starts. Austin Voth has also been on a roll as well, posting a 2.25 earned run average over his last 8 starts. With 2 starters like this, 2 good bullpens, and a possibility of rested hitters due to this game being meaningless, I expect to see a low-scoring game that falls below the total. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. Cincinnati Reds versus Chicago Cubs. The Cincinnati Reds will be taking on the Chicago Cubs on Saturday in the middle game of a 3-game series. These teams play the rest of the season against one another, as he played 3 games in Cincinnati as well. Nick Lodolo will take the ball for the Reds as Drew Smyly makes the start for the Cubs. The Reds are 17-39 in their last 56 during Game 2 of a series and 7-20 in their last 27 Saturday games. The Cubs are 4-0 in their last 4 home games and 5-0 in their last 5 overall. The under is 10-2-1 in Reds' last 13 overall. The under is 16-5-1 in Cubs' last 22 overall. This is actually a solid pitching matchup for 2 losing teams, as Nick Lodolo and Drew Smyly have been solid this season. You can make a case for either side. However, the Chicago Cubs are playing the better baseball right now and look eager to finish the season strong. The Cincinnati Reds can't string offense together, and it's leading to this losing stretch. The Cubs are playing very well right now and have outscored their opponents 22-7 in their last 5 games. Chicago is starting Drew Smyly, who has allowed 8 earned runs over his last 14.1 innings pitched. For the Reds, Nick Lodolo has allowed 7 runs over his last 17.1 innings pitched this season. I am going to continuing riding the Cubs, as they have looked very good lately, so the Chicago Cubs money line is our full game side pick. The previous 6 games have shown the difference between these teams, as the Reds are averaging just 2 runs per game while the Cubs are scoring 3.67 runs per game in that same stretch. The Reds are not hitting, as the combination of Jonathan India, Kyle Farmer, and Aristides Aquino are 2-1 for 138 in the last 15 days, and that is a huge issue to produce enough runs here. During the month of September, the pitching staffs have been doing well enough to make scoring against them difficult. Cincinnati pitched to a 4.1 team earned run average in the 28th of September games, while Chicago has a 3.03 team earned run average in the 26th of September games. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive betting picks to take your sports betting journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer anywhere from 1 betting pick a day up to 10 betting picks a day and much more. Now let's get started.